How's it going, everyone? The reviews for Diablo 4 are finally out, and I spent the entirety of today watching multiple YouTube videos, reading multiple articles, and in today's video I'm going to give you guys the quick rundown of everything I saw in regards to Diablo 4. Now I will say right away that luckily everything seems to be mainly positive. If you head over to Metacritic, there are over 41 positive reviews and only 3 mixed reviews, and it's just everyone that got to play the game early all had just amazing things to say about the game. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over both the pros and the cons that everyone had to say about Diablo 4. So first up, let's go over all of the pros and the good things that people had to say about the game. So for starters, when it comes to graphics and the art style, pretty much every review that I saw praised the graphics and the overall feel for the game, which if you guys are Diablo fans, you probably played the early betas, so you got a good feel for the art style and just the overall graphics. But as for the final product, it is pretty safe to say that the graphics and the tone and the overall feel and atmosphere of the game everybody seems to enjoy over the previous game, Diablo 3. Diablo 3 had this kind of cartoony art style to it, and a lot of people weren't a fan of that art direction. In Diablo 4, they're making a lot of changes and they're going back to the old ways of like Diablo 2, and it just looks a lot darker, more evil, more nitty-gritty. And I gotta say, based off of everything I've seen so far, I'm also really liking the look of these graphics. As for level design, I've seen nothing but praise for level design as well. Everyone seems to be really enjoying the different environments, the different sections of the world you can go to, the dungeons, the side quests, the boss encounters. Everything that has to do with the level design and the enemy design is just overwhelmingly positive. And basically, if you enjoyed Diablo 3, then you're definitely going to like the level design and the enemy encounters in Diablo 4, because based off of all the reviews, everything in Diablo 3 is getting improved upon in Diablo 4. Same goes for the gameplay. A lot of the reviewers were saying that the gameplay is nice and smooth, it's fun, it doesn't get too repetitive. In the Diablo games, there needs to be a fine balance between leveling up your character, getting the right amount of loot. Like, you don't want to get too much loot or the loot just doesn't seem valuable anymore, but you also don't want to get too little loot because then it feels like too much of a grind. And a lot of people were saying that the gameplay loop just felt really fun, and after 30 some hours, the combat just didn't get repetitive. Felt just as fun and exciting in hour 30 as it does in like hour 3 or 4. Which brings me into the next pro, and it's that there is a ton of things to do and just a metric crap ton of content in this game. There's the main campaign that you can play through on any number of characters. You can play through the story mode, and then once you beat the main story, you unlock nightmare modes, and it opens up just a ton of different things that you can do after you beat the main story. So there's just hours and hours of content after the main campaign. Not to mention that you can replay the entire story multiple times with a number of different characters. If you want to replay the game with a different character and a different build, that just gives you hours and hours of replayability. You can test different builds and try new different things, which is another thing that I saw a lot of praise about, and it's that each class has so many different skills and abilities that it feels like there's multiple classes within the class. So for example, the necromancer has just so many skills and different combinations of abilities that you can essentially have 3 or 4 different necromance classes, and they all play differently and feel just completely different than one another, which is just absolutely great to hear because it's been over 10 years since we had our last major Diablo game. I mean, Diablo 3 is a great game and all, but stretching it out over 10 plus years, you know, that's stretching it a little bit just too thin. So it's great to see that this game just has just tons and tons of content and just hours and hours of replayability. So to summarize the pros, if you like the previous Diablo games, especially Diablo 3, pretty much everything in Diablo 3 is improved upon in Diablo 4. The combat, the skills, the armor, the abilities, the level design, the atmosphere, the graphics. They really did a good job of listening to the community and the player feedback, and they took that to heart and they made a really good solid game here. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. There are some cons. Now, I will say there's not that many cons, but there are some cons I was able to pick out from a number of different reviews. First major con that's going to turn a lot of people off is the fact that you always have to be online. There's always online multiplayer. I'm personally not a fan of this. If I just want to play Diablo 4 on my own without any friends, and I don't know, maybe the internet's out and I want to play Diablo, well, you can't do that. You have to be connected at all times. I hate that video games are doing this. I don't know why you have to do this. It's annoying, and you know, it sucks because like I said, if the internet's out or maybe you're going over to a friend's house or I don't know, whatever the scenario is, you don't want to always have to be connected to the internet just to slay a few demons in Diablo. I think that sucks. So that's definitely the first con, is that you have to be always online to play the game. As for the second con I've seen a number of different reviews complaining about is that not all of the classes are balanced equally in terms of the progression. In this game, there's a number of different side missions you can do to unlock special abilities for each of the classes, and some of the classes you can level them up pretty quickly and you can become a very strong character early on, and then some of the classes you're not going to be able to unlock some of the really good abilities until way later in your level ups. So I did see a number of different complaints that some of the classes just weren't fun very early on. It was a bit hard to play some of the areas early on with some of the classes versus some of the others, and it just feels weird that some of the classes level up a little bit faster than others. But hey, maybe that's a design choice. Maybe some of those classes that take a little bit longer to build up are going to be really powerful in the late game. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but that is going to suck for replayability. If you're someone like me who wants to play and experience all of the characters, sometimes multiple times in multiple seasons, unfortunately it is going to be a little bit more of a grind. And then the final con that I want to bring up is the microtransactions. Now, yes, this game is going to have microtransactions. Now, if this was made 2 years ago, I would make an entire video just dedicated to bashing these microtransactions. I feel like these microtransactions are absolutely awful. It used to be that if you had a free-to-play game, you would see like $20 skins, and that was justifiable. I mean, free-to-play games have to make money somehow, but this is a full-priced game. There are 3 different versions of the game. There's the regular standard edition, which is $70. There's the deluxe edition, which is $90. And then there's the Ultimate Edition, which is $100. So it's a full-priced game, but on top of that, there is of course an in-game microtransaction store where you have to buy different versions of currencies. As you can see here, they're priced at like $2, $5, $10, $25, $50, and $100. And they're doing the same thing that every company does, where you have to buy their in-game currency and you have to convert real money into this fake money. And then there's a number of different in-game bundles that you can buy. Some of the skins are going for over $20 a pop. For example, you can buy the Wraithlord outfit for the necromancer at 2,800 platinum currency. And to get 2,800 of the platinum currency, you're going to have to spend about $25. But it doesn't stop there, because it wouldn't be a live service game if it didn't include a battle pass. Boy, do I miss the days before we had battle passes. So yes, you can in fact buy battle passes for Diablo 4. Now there is of course a free variation of the battle pass, but of course the rewards aren't going to be quite as good as the paid version. Now, as scummy and crappy as these microtransactions are, I've kind of just grown numb to the whole microtransactions being overpriced thing. I try to look at it as a positive thing that these are crazy overpriced microtransactions, because honestly, if my favorite character had a really cool skin and it was only priced at like $5, I would be much more tempted to spend $5 here or $5 there, and before you know it, I would end up spending like 40 or 50 bucks. But if they're priced at $25 a pop for a cool skin or a horse, there is absolutely no way that I'm ever going to spend $25 on one outfit for my character. I don't care how cool the outfit is, I'm not dropping $25 on a paid full price game. If it's a free-to-play game, it's a little bit more justifiable, because if I put hours and hours into a free game, then I feel like they've earned maybe 10 or 20 bucks every now and then. But a full-price video game, there is no way I'm dropping $25. So I like to look at it as a positive that they're completely overpriced, because with all the cool skins being insanely overpriced, it actually ends up saving me a little bit of money. So overall, the game is really good. Everyone seems to enjoy it. If you guys like the previous Diablos, then you're definitely going to love Diablo 4. Like I said, the only downside to the game is that you always have to be online. There's crazy over-the-top microtransactions, and some of the classes just take a little bit longer to reach their full potential compared to others. So that is going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. I am super excited to get my hands on Diablo 4. I'm going to be making a ton of Diablo 4 videos going forward, so if you guys don't want to miss out on any future videos, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and I will talk to you all in the next video.